The hide and seek alone shown in this video is considered a very dangerous seance in Japan. It can be easily recreated with familiar objects, but be careful not to imitate it. Hide and seek alone. It is 1 a.m., and 30-year-old Naoki is at home, absorbed in surfing the internet. His room is dimly lit and his computer screen is the only source of light. In a small apartment, the air is heavy and tangled with every sigh. Naoki had no wife or children and led an ordinary, lonely life. He was born and raised in this city and graduated from university as he did, but he cannot find a job, so he works at a local convenience store. Everything in his daily life is the same, and he is bored with the days that just repeat themselves. One day, Naoki finds a website on the internet about urban legends and ghost stories. He becomes interested in one of them, a ghost story called Hide and Seek Alone. This seance is a dangerous game known to everyone in Japan. Seeking a thrill and excitement that he cannot experience in his everyday life, Naoki decides to try hide and seek alone. He carefully studied the procedure. The moon in the night sky casts a faint light and shadows on the room. The light shines into the room and casts a shadow on an old doll in Naoki's room. The doll had been given to him by his grandmother and had been left in a corner of the room for some time. Naoki's heart pulsed and his heartbeat increased his tension. Naoki did not yet know that this day would change his life into a nightmarish horror. He looks at his watch. Waiting for 3 a.m., the supposed start time, Naoki proceeds with the steps of hide and seek alone. Step 1. First, prepare the doll and remove all the cotton from the doll. Step 2. Put hard rice into the empty doll before cooking. Step 3. Cut your own fingernails, place them in the doll and sew them together with red thread. Hair or blood can be added at this point to make the seance more powerful, but increases the risk. It is said that the rice represents the internal organs and the red thread means blood vessels. This makes it possible to connect with the doll. His hands sweating, he clipped his nails and placed the nail fragments into the doll. His hand shook and he cut his fingertips a little. The drop of blood fell onto the rice in the doll. Step 4. Decide on a place to hide beforehand and place a glass of salt water there. Hide and seek alone is a game of hide and seek with a stuffed animal. Step 5. Name the dolls. Naoki thinks of a name and chooses the name Mio. This name will be the person he plays hide and seek with. He calls Mio in whispers. His voice echoes as he disappears into the heavy room. Step 6. Fill the bucket in the bathroom with water. This is the preliminaries so far. Complete the previous steps so that they can begin at 3 a.m. And the time is 3 a.m. Naoki starts the game. Step 7. He says to the doll, "I'm the first demon" 3 times and dunks it in the bucket in the bathroom. The doll's whole body is immersed in the water and he is anxious and excited to see it. Step 8. Turn off all the lights in the house and leave only the television on. In this state, meditate and count for 10 seconds. There are no TV programs on at 3 a.m., only an inorganic sandstorm on the screen. Step 9. Take a knife or other cutting instrument and move to the bathroom. At this point, if the doll is still there, unchanged, the game can continue. Say his name, stab the doll with the blade while telling him that you have found it and that the ogre actor will take over. He moves to the bathroom. He is relieved to see the doll there unchanged. Naoki then stabs the doll with a knife, saying, "Mio, I found it." The doll is stabbed in the bucket, and the little remaining air leaks out with a small sound. He then told the doll 3 times that Mio is the next demon and hid in a place where he kept salt water. He hid in the wardrobe of his room. The blue-white light of the TV screen dimly illuminated the room. Naoki's heart races and his breathing becomes labored. The season is summer, and summer in Japan is hot and humid, even at night. The secret space in the closet becomes unusually hot. Naoki felt sweat dripping down his cheeks. It is said that one can experience a seance by hiding from here for at least 1 hour. Also, the hide and seek alone must be completed in the correct order within 2 hours. Naoki regrets starting the game because the atmosphere in the room is so stifling that it doesn't feel like his own room. At that moment, he heard something fall from the bathroom. She wanted to stop playing hide and seek right now, but it had only been 15 minutes since the game started. To end it now would be a forbidden act that I must never do. Naoki waited patiently for time to pass under his breath, but then he became aware of footsteps. Looking out through the closet door, He saw something walking down the corridor. Slowly a black shadow is moving down the corridor. It appears to be a person, but it is too dark to see clearly. The black shadow slowly entered his room and stayed in the corner of the room. Naoki felt a gaze that he could not compare to anything else. He is being watched. Where are you? A voice echoed in the room that was supposed to be empty. Although he should never answer, Naoki reflexively looked at the gap in the door. Someone is looking at us. He is almost panicking with fear, but he cannot be found. He meditated hard and waited for time to pass. How much time has passed? After a long, seemingly endless silence, Naoki checked his watch. The time was 4:30 a.m. At least an hour had passed since he had to play hide and seek. Naoki took a mouthful of salt water. The rule of this hide and seek alone is that the spirits cannot see you while you have a mouthful of salt water in your mouth. To end the hide and seek, the salt water in the mouth must be sprayed on the doll in the bathroom and the doll must declare that it has lost the game. With the salt water in its mouth, the closet door is opened. There was a strange man standing upright and staring into the closet. He whispered something in an inaudible voice. Where are you? 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 His eyes meet those of a strange man. Naoki stiffened and was worried that he was being watched. Naoki loses track of time and stiffens at the sight of the eyes that seem to suck him in. He suddenly remembers that he has to finish within 2 hours. He held back the salt water leaking out of his mouth and headed for the bathroom. When he returned to the bathroom, the doll was not there. Naoki felt cold sweat running down his neck. He began to search the whole house. He suppressed his impatience and moved slowly, trying not to make a sound with his footsteps. Naoki does not know where Mio is. He can only hear his own breathing and the beating of his heart. At last, Naoki finds the doll in the living room. She is sitting on the sofa. The sight takes Naoki's breath away. He wanted to end it here. But he made a mistake in the last step. The time was 5:07 a.m. 2 hours had passed. The moment he looked at the clock, a chill ran down his spine. The air became damp and cold and it became difficult to breathe. Driven by fear, he returns Mio to the bathroom. However, his mind is so confused by fear that he cannot remember the procedure. Naoki thinks frantically, but his impatience gets the better of him. He puts Mio back in the bath bucket and sprays her mouth with salt water. I win. I win. I win. He declared victory to Mio 3 times. However, he felt a twinge of regret for passing the time. An eerie presence continues to haunt the house. He is tormented by a fear he has never felt before. From that day onwards, his house always seemed to have a black shadow. Then, Naoki's fate comes to a dark and unexpected end. It was sudden. After playing hide and seek alone, I couldn't sleep at night at all. Whenever I close my eyes, I hear that voice in my ear. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Sleep-deprived Naoki was on his way home from work at a convenience store when he wandered out into the driveway as if someone was pulling him along. In the dire situation, the stranger in the room stood quietly by his side. Naoki heard the words in his ear at the last moment, surely.
I found